Hi, everyone. It's Troy Moore, Chief External Affairs for National Diaper Bank Network, Alliance for Period Supplies. Take you through a little bit of a few updates out of external affairs for this past quarter and things we're looking ahead to as well. First up, staffing. We have added a new staff member. As you may recall, Zoe Kraft had left the organization, went on to a different some campaign work prior to the election, and we've added a new staff member, Ariana Smith, and we're really excited to have her come on as the manager of legislative policy. Ariana comes to us with 3 years of experience out of Massachusetts at the state Senate office there with Senator Mark Pacheco. He's kind of the dean of the Massachusetts Senate, so he is retiring, and so we just kind of grabbed her and we're able to bring her in, and we're really happy about that. And then also, you may recall Annie Pastrek, that is our summer intern, is now on as a policy coordinator part-time with us. She's still working on finishing up her MPA degree at Tulane. So we're really excited to have Annie aboard as well. We have a couple federal activities going on, updates here. We've got two new federal bills pending. One is focused on Medicaid coverage for diapers, which most likely is going to be introduced in next session in 2025. And then we have the Good Samaritan Liability Act, which has been bouncing back and forth whether or not it's going to be introduced between in the new session in 25 or still in this session. And it looks like it's going with this session, right around the election week, actually. And then we're also looking at making revisions to the End Diaper Need Act, working with both in the House and Senate with Senator Duckworth and Representative DeLauro. So those are things that are kind of winding up actually as the session winds down, and then we're looking into 25 is really pushing those pieces of legislation going forward. At the state level, we're actively involved in doing some outreach of a thank you campaign for the 2024 legislative champions at the state level throughout the country, and then also prepping for the 2025 sessions, which actually some of them start in December, I think November, December timeframe in Pennsylvania. Looking at Medicaid coverage for diapers, seems to be a focal point of things that we're advancing, and Massachusetts is very interested in that. And then also funding for diaper bank programs and period supply programs. Wisconsin is kind of in the forefront of this because Governor Evers, Wisconsin governor, is supportive of looking at providing funding for diaper distribution programs. So we're real excited about that. Georgia also, there's strong interest there. Missouri's kind of pushed us off to 2026. And these are just the highlights. We're working this kind of pieces of legislation in lots of states, but these are like the top ones that are priority for us going into 25. One thing I want to draw your attention to is, some of you may have seen in the past, we've been doing the NDBN minutes, posting them on YouTube, but we've kind of transitioned to a new platform, a podcasting platform called Simplecast, and we have, I think, about 30 episodes of the NDBN minutes, and they're anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes long, so they're not true minutes, but 2 to 5 minute segments about issues related to diaper need, period poverty, profiles on our members, interviews about new research, and they're really, really great. And I would encourage you, to take a listen to them. Maybe on your way to the conference, to the board meeting and stuff. Download them, take a listen to them. There's some really good information to give you an idea of the scope and the breadth of the work that we're doing at National Diaper Bank Network. You may recall when I did the deep dive last month, we were talking about the work around the whole Tampon Tim moniker, and out of that was asking the question, do Americans support putting period supplies in public schools and universities? So we put out that public opinion poll, and the results came back, and they were extraordinarily favorable. 3 in 4 Americans actually support putting menstrual supplies in public school restrooms and universities. And one of the great things about this is that it really cuts across any kind of demographic cut that we did with this. So men, women, it's still overwhelming support regardless of male, female. There's overwhelming support regardless of political ideation, so political parties, and even breaking it down to Republican men. We thought maybe, okay, there might not be support there. Still, majority support for putting period supplies in schools. Also breaks down on economic levels, that there's not a lot of difference between, income levels of people's support. So that is a poll that we've put out that for us, it gives us legs, something that we'll use, particularly at the state level going forward, when we're pushing, period supplies in schools legislation. It gives us, data that we can say, look, this is a nonpartisan issue. We don't believe it's partisan. It shouldn't be partisan. It's about, a fundamental, it's about equity and putting period supplies in schools. And so we think this data is going to be useful for us, and hopefully, legislators will be able to use it to champion bills going forward. Diaper Need Awareness Week wrapped up, at the end of September, and we had a good Diaper Need Awareness Week. Lots of participation from members around the country. We made a much more concerted effort on social media this year, and Alicia did a wonderful job of providing, great materials and scheduling stuff out, on social posts, and then also, working with some influencers, some key influencers. We had Zachariah Porter, who has, a really tremendous following. He does a lot of comedic kind of posts and things. Did a nice piece on diaper need. Paris Hilton did as well. Jennifer Gates Nasser did a nice segment on what is diaper need, and then Sean Johnson also did a nice piece there. So this creates awareness. It adds followers to our social accounts, and so it gives us that point of contact. We hopefully can continue to come back to a lot of influencers and expand on that going forward. We also had a great outdoor campaign. In the past, some of you have been around a while, know that we've done work with Lamar Outdoor Advertising in the past. They've done some pro bono boards for us. This year, we reached out to some other companies at Outfront Media, and they did a design for us. And, this is the look and feel of the design that they did and put out on over 530 billboards in 50 cities around the country. Had an audience of about 3 million on this, eyeballs on it. So these were digital boards as well, to make that distinction there. And so we were real excited about that. They loved it, and we're excited about it as well. We believe we can come back to them for Period Poverty Awareness Week, and then come back to them again, in 2025 for National Diaper Need Awareness Week. We also traveled around the country to a lot of events. A few we had to cancel because of hurricanes and then this other travel things that were going on, but where we were able to go, Lacey Giroux did a lot of the travel. She went to Indiana for a fundraising event, a diaper bash at the Indiana Diaper Bank, and then also visited St. Louis area diaper bank and to celebrate their 10 years there. And Lacey also did a virtual panel discussion with the Massachusetts Coalition of Diaper Banks and some state leaders in the state legislature talking about diaper needs, some of our key supporters there during Diaper Need Awareness Week. Sydney actually went down to Arkansas, to the Diaper Collective there, and celebrated their 1 millionth distribution. And this is really important for us, that relationship, because it's in Walmart's backyard, Sam's Club's backyard, and Sam's Club is a supporter of the Diaper Collective, and so this is a good relationship for us to nurture there as well. And Molly Boyd, our director of corporate relations, went down to Philadelphia, or she is in Philadelphia, but she ventured over to Mitzvah Circle for a volunteer activity, and was accompanied by the head or the executive director of the Baby and Adult Hygiene Products Association, which is based in Washington, who we work with and try to coordinate efforts on the federal level. And then I went down to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and attended the 10th annual Capital Diaper Drive there. I was joined by folks from Healthy Steps Diaper Bank and Cradles to Crayons. And so that was a good activity, and there's a press conference around that, and it's a kind of a month-long diaper drive that takes place at the state capitol on that front. And then we also had the proclamations. We had 28 state proclamations, gubernatorial proclamations that were issued during Diaper Need Awareness Week, and 84 municipalities, mayors and county executives and so on and so forth on that. The state proclamations is right in the ballpark of what we normally get. We get anywhere from 28 to 32 state proclamations is generally what we get. A lot of states aren't issuing proclamations anymore. A lot of governors have moved away from that. and so it is becoming a little more difficult to get those. And then at the local level, that number is down, a bit as well. And so, it's part of our evaluation will be to talk to local members, programs, and so on and so forth, and say, what were some of the things that impacted, not getting as many proclamations as we had in the past, and reminding folks that this is a great way to introduce diaper bank programs and the work that's being done in the community to elected officials, particularly at the local level. And then the final thing I just want to talk, very briefly about. I think some other folks, we'll talk about this on the disaster relief and recovery efforts that National Diaper Bank Network Alliance for Prepared Supplies are engaged in. After hurricanes Helene and then subsequently Milton, we had reached out to Kimberly Clark right away prior to Helene hitting, and saying, hey, what are we going to do together? If this turns out to be a bad disaster, can we get the ball rolling here on securing product donations, supplemental donations. And the Kimberly Clark folks have been great and really stepped up and donated 5 million units of product to NDB and Alliance for Period Supplies. There's 2 million Huggies diapers, 500,000 Huggies wipes, 500,000 pull-ups, 1 million U by Kotex pads, and 1 million Poise incontinence supplies. Those are all going out. The programs team, led by Mary Madul, is doing a heroic job in getting that out in the midst of everything else that we're doing. And so, these are just things that keep getting layered on top of our regular workloads. But, our staff is amazing, and we do great work, and we're getting stuff done. So that's it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in Chicago.